Hello friends and welcome to the Sports Guide. Before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe and share the video. We are going to be doing our first mock draft today. I am Michael.
I'm Lucas.
With this, we're only doing round 1. I'll be doing the odds and Lucas will be doing the evens. But he'll be doing the first pick because he's a Bengals fan.
Oh yeah.
We're going to elaborate about the players, elaborate about the pick, maybe give a pro comparison. No trades at all, and we'll talk about free agency moves that will make this move happen.
So with the first pick, it's pretty cut and dry at this point. It's hard to argue against anything else. Bengals are in need of a quarterback. Andy Dalton's time is pretty much up in Cincinnati. You need a guy who can distribute the ball, a guy who's comfortable in a collapsing pocket, a guy who can escape and make a play with his legs. You need a guy who's a leader, who's confident, and even though he doesn't like the chili, you're picking Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's that guy. He's got an incredibly accurate arm.
100%.
He can throw on the run. He can stand in the pocket.
He can lead a team.
He can absolutely lead a team. He's confident, and he's a winner.
Yeah.
He's a winner. Stats show it. 65 total touchdowns, undefeated, redshirt senior season. Guy's a winner.
He is an Ohio boy too.
And he's from Athens.
He's coming home. Cue the music.
But yeah, this pick is pretty much a lock. Joe Burrow, number 1 to the Bengals.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
I agree 100%. He is a quarterback you build around. Do you think
Absolutely.
the Bengals retain AJ Green to help him develop?
I think Green gets the tag this year.
Nice.
I know he doesn't want the tag this year, and I know that the Bengals are wanting to lock him up for a little bit longer. I know he wants to stay. But in terms of the situation we have right now, I think the best thing to do is tag him. Yeah, so second pick, the Skins. Edge rusher position isn't the most needed position for the Redskins. It's certainly a need, but you can certainly help out Haskins with the O-line. Maybe you draft a receiver.
They have a lot to do.
For a receiver.
They have a lot to fill.
You have a lot to do. And because you have a lot to do, the BPA argument leads you to Chase Young.
Yes.
Who is pretty much the bona fide number 1 player in this draft.
Yeah.
Guy's an absolute freak. He's huge. He's great off the edge. Awesome at using his hands. Has played in the interior. But he's certainly got the talent. He's got the ceiling to be a top 10 edge rusher in the league. He was compared a lot to the Bosa's coming out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I think that he's up there with him.
I think Chase Young is the Bosa's, but with the Montez Sweat athletic ability. Like, Bosa's will power through you, get to the passer. And I think Chase Young has that. But I think he's better on his feet. Like, he's on the Myles Garrett-esque pass rusher.
Oh, for sure. I also think that a lot of people were nervous about his performance in the college football semis.
Yeah.
He got double-teamed and triple-teamed.
That does show that he is a beast, though.
Yeah, that's exactly my point.
And, like,
a lot of people were concerned that he had 2 tackles and 1 pressure in that game.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was just standing there. But he was double teamed and triple teamed. So if you get him in any instance where he's one-on-one, dude's a freak. His ceiling's incredibly high. And I think the Redskins missing him here and taking somebody else is a mistake.
You can't have enough edge rushers.
Right.
I think Chase Young's ceiling definitely is top tier as a pass rusher. I think he could easily get 14 sacks in a single NFL season. The Redskins are a 3-4 defense. You have Ryan Kerrigan, who's always been a very good pass rusher that nobody talks about. Kerrigan will help him develop. You have Montez Sweat. You have Chase Young. You have 2 great pass rushers coming at you. Their defensive line, nobody talks about it, but it is a very good defensive line. Jonathan Allen is a beast.
Yeah, everybody's sleeping on him right now.
Yeah, and I think the Redskins are building from within the trenches, and it's the right way to do it. It's the right way to rebuild the defense. The Lions, oh boy. Matt Patricia is a coach I could see staying around a while in Detroit. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's had some bad luck. I think players have fallen off when he's there. There's a lot they need. 100%. We all can agree with that. Stafford's injury is it scares Lions fans, you know? Back injuries are not something to play around with. So could they take Tua? Yes, they could. I don't think they take Tua. Could they take a defensive line? I think Snacks Harrison won't be back next year, whether that be cut him or he's a free agent or whatever. I think he's not coming back. Darius Slay will stay there. I really do. I think he's a good defensive back, and I think they also believe in that. They have one corner they drafted last year.
Amani Aruarie?
Yes, so I'm not sure if they need a cornerback right now. This is a deep cornerback draft class. What they struggle in is stopping the run. Have to take the man, the myth, the unicorn, the legend himself, Isaiah Simmons. While he can play safety, I'm having him at linebacker with Gerard Davis, and I have them just go at it, stop the run. The safest pick, the pick they do need, is Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson.
I like it. While it is true that Patricia plays a lot of man defense, Jeffrey Okuda is the best man corner in the draft. He's certainly CB1.
Yep.
I think Isaiah Simmons has a lot of value, not only as an edge rusher, but in coverage situations, in zone coverage, and man coverage.
And they also...
If I had Isaiah Simmons, I'd play him as a will linebacker.
Yeah. He could just do everything very, very well.
Yeah, dude could handle playing safety. The Giants are an interesting case.
Very.
If we were doing trades, I would possibly consider having maybe the Panthers trade up to 4 if they're thinking about getting a QB now. The Giants, I see, are in a position to maybe trade their pick back a couple. Maybe if the Chargers want to trade up and beat the Dolphins to Tua. But since we're not doing trades, the Giants right now gotta get some help on that O-line. Because Nate Solder's getting older.
He's not even productive anymore.
Yeah. Will Hernandez is doing well, but you gotta get some help on that O-line.
I agree.
And I'm thinking my boy Jedrick Wills is gonna be the pick here. He's a right tackle, bona fide right tackle, but he's awesome in pass protection.
Yes.
He's got awesome hand placement. He's mobile, and I think he can hold his own. He's 6'5", 320. I think the guy's got talent, and I think he could succeed in New York protecting Daniel Jones. It also helps to give another lineman to Saquon Barkley.
Do you think they keep him at right or they move him to left?
I think they keep him at right.
I agree. I think you have to do that. And
he's a tough guy. He's strong. He doesn't have a lot of downsides. I think it'd be a mistake not to pick him at 4 if you're the Giants, unless you're committed to trading back. Jedrick Wills, I think, is your guy if you're the Giants at 4.
The GM of the Giants, Gettleman, he does like his hard-nosed players. He likes his offensive linemen, his defensive linemen, his linebackers. And right now, the biggest need they have is tackle. You know, again, as a Cowboys fan, I was not high on Daniel Jones, but this season, you can definitely mold him into a good quarterback. He has to grow. He has to grow a lot, and I think, again, having Coach Garrett, aka Coach Carrot, over there, Garrett helped Rumbo develop, and Garrett also helped Dak develop, and I think Daniel Jones is a perfect mixture in between both. And again, I'm not gonna lie, it scares me. You have Saquon, and you have a guy who has. I think Jones has he can be a top tier player. That's his ceiling. Not sure if he gets there or not, but I think he could get there. You know, he can run the ball. He can sling the ball. Jedrick Wills is the pick. All right, with the Dolphins. If I want to be risky, I would not take Tua. I would set on when's their next pick, like the 18th, 19th pick. Maybe they could get Justin Herbert later on. But I think the Dolphins are too smart. Brian Flores, I think, is a very good coach, and I think their front office is on the right path. The best player available, the best quarterback available, are the same person. Tua Tagovailoa. They've been tanking for Tua, it seems like, for 2 years now. It's Tua's time. He is from Hawaii, so he likes the hot, humid weather, so that should not affect him at all. Well, I'm not sure if he starts on day 1. I think with the injury, disregard the injury. I think you let him sit behind Ryan Fitzmagic. aka Fitzpatrick, is a very good backup and a very good mentor. I think he will teach Tua the ins and outs, how to read defenses in the NFL. I think Tua is a leader, and I think he can do everything in the NFL as a quarterback. Well, he can run when he needs to. He can throw the ball pretty deep. He's very accurate, and I think he does need to work on his touch passes a little bit, but every college quarterback does. I think maybe drop back passes will be his struggle, but again, he's the second best quarterback in this draft, and there's no way Tua makes it out of the top 10. So my pick here is Tua to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. Tua has a lot of potential. This hip injury does scare me a little bit because of the very nature of the injury he has. But in terms of playing quarterback and being in the pocket, dude's got a quick release.
Yes.
He's got eyes in the back of his head, and he can drop it in a bucket. He throws an awesome deep ball. I see the Dolphins doing this. I think it'd be a mistake if they did. All right, so 6 is the Chargers, and now that we know that Phillip Rivers will not be returning, they have a glaring need at quarterback. And while it is true that this quarterback struggles under pressure, I think Justin Herbert's the guy, and I'm going to pick him at 6. He's got a cannon of an arm. Dude's smart as anyone we've ever seen. He struggles a little bit when his first read breaks down. He's got great measurables. He's a leader. You can develop him really well. So I think while you can possibly hit inside O-line in the second, third round, maybe Tyler Biadasz, I think Justin Herbert's the guy.
The Chargers had a down year because Phillip Rivers is... The sunset is here, I think, and he's going to ride off to his 800 kids he has. But in all seriousness, I don't think they re-signed Melvin Gordon. I don't. And I think Austin Eckler is a running back that does everything solid. Herbert has the size, he has the arm, and I actually think he runs a very good 40. Watching him run in the Rose Bowl, watching him run throughout his college career, he's tall, he's lanky, and he can run very, very well. I think he runs 4.8, maybe very high 4.7s. And like that's good for a guy his size. To the Panthers, Luke Kuechly retiring does hurt. And if I was them, Isaiah Simmons, replacement, 100%. He's not there. When I think you have to rebuild because you have a new coach, I would go for a new quarterback. Justin Herbert isn't there. Well, you could trade back, but we're not doing trades. You build from the interior out. Your offensive line can hold up. I think you can get a guy later on. You need to build up your pass rush. Brian Burns was a steal of the draft. I was not high on him, and he made me bite my words, and that's great. I think the guy you have to go for is Derek Brown. The best defensive tackle. Build from the trenches, and you will succeed.
Yeah, I agree. Derek Brown is kind of a defensive tackle that we've never really seen before. He does everything really, really well.
Yeah.
He's fast. He's got great feet. He can beat you with a swim. He can run right through you.
You're missing the best linebacker in the league. How do you fix that? Well, you could do another linebacker, or you could get a great defensive lineman. Yep, it's Derek Brown, Panthers. Boom.
So the Cardinals are next. And while Kyler Murray did win Offensive Rookie of the Year, there are 2 glaring needs that the Cardinals have. It's offensive line and it's wide receiver. But I don't think wide receiver is as much of an issue right now as offensive line is. Kyler Murray may be productive, but you need to make him more productive than he currently is because you're still picking in the top 10. I'm going to go with Tristan Wirfs from Iowa. Guy who can play left tackle, guy who can play right tackle. He's strong.
He can play guard too.
So strong. He can bounce in and play guard. He's a good size, 6'5", 320.
Very athletic.
Great hand placement.
He has a nasty factor. That's important for a tackle or an offensive lineman.
He doesn't let go, so I think Wirfs is a great pick here for the Cardinals. And then if you need to really hit receiver, or if you want to get some defense, you can do that in the second and third round.
I agree.
But for right now, you got to get some talent in front of Kyler Murray, and Tristan Wirfs is the guy that I'm picking.
All right, on to the Jaguars, who you do have DJ Chark, and he's a freak of a wide receiver. But I don't think this is the time to take wide receiver. I know you have Judy and you have Lamb, but the Jaguars were good when they had a lockdown defense. You have a good pass rush. You do need linebacker help, but there's not one that's wise to take right now. There's one player impacted that defense in the backfield, really. Well, there's 2. Bouye and Ramsey. Ramsey's gone, and Bouye's on the downward spiral of his career, and I think he's a free agent in the next year or so. But I think Jeffrey Okudah is the guy you need to take. And I think because they have another first-round pick and 11 more picks, you can take a wide receiver. I think Okudah's the man.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a surprise that Okudah fell to 9.
100%.
Guys, CB1, I had him going a little bit higher.
Yep.
But your defense has been a major issue.
Yeah.
And taking the best corner in the draft is something that's certainly going to help alleviate that pressure. All right, the next pick is the Browns. The Browns have a lot of needs. Players like Javon Kinlaw stand out here. Guy who can just break through guards and centers. I don't see how you don't go offensive tackle. Baker Mayfield got sacked a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And you need to give that guy a chance. Let him mess up on his own. I'm thinking the pick here is Mekhi Becton from Louisville. I think he's got a higher ceiling than Andrew Thomas. I think Andrew Thomas, he could be a left tackle. Mekhi Becton can sway between both.
You have to take a tackle. The best one available, you have to.
Mekhi Becton's bigger. He's stronger. And I think he's got a higher ceiling than Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas isn't a bad pick, but Becton fits. It makes sense. I get the Jets pick. This is difficult. You could go with a wide receiver. You can go pass rush. You can go offensive line. You could go corner. There's a lot the Jets could do. I think Sam is the future. And the offense is going to be... You have pieces like Jamison Crowder. I think Robbie Anderson gets re-signed by the Jets. I think he's going to go out because he wants wide receiver 1 money. He's not wide receiver 1. But I think the most important thing is keeping Sam healthy. I do think they snag up Brendan Sheriff from the Redskins, and I think they plug him in at right guard. That's great. You are now opening holes for Le'Veon. But what about Sam? Well, here's a move I make. I'm taking Andrew Thomas, protect Sam, help Le'Veon get holes open, and let Sam make plays.
Yeah, I love it. I never had Andrew Thomas or any of these offensive tackles fall into 11. So the fact that the Jets can take a stud should make a lot of Jets fans happy.
Andrew Thomas, the top tackle. Brandon Sheriff, the top guard coming out of free agency. If this happens, Bell's production increase by a good amount. But that's just my opinion.
I don't see a reason why this pick shouldn't work. Pick number 12 is the Raiders. There are some rumors. Maybe the Raiders going after Brady. I don't know if that's going to happen. But I don't think stacking up your receiver core is a bad thing, especially because the Raiders don't have a wide receiver 1. And if I'm the Raiders, I'm going to pick CeeDee Lamb.
I love that pick.
I'm going to pick my ex guy, pick my stud, guy who can
go get it,
boss over cornerbacks, guy who's got great hands, awesome concentration, good speed. He can create separation with power and agility. I personally think he's wide receiver 1. And if I'm the Raiders, I am thrilled to have this guy.
I think it's a steal. I think he's going to do very well. I think for his 40-yard dash, very, very low 4.5s, or I could see him running a 4.45 very well. I could see that happening.
I could see a mid-4. Yeah, mid-4.4. I think if you're starting from 0, CeeDee Lamb's your guy. Since the Raiders they have Hunter Renfrow.
Yep.
I think you got to pick your dude.
Yeah.
And I think CeeDee Lamb is the dude.
I think he completes that offense. Their offensive linemen stepped up last year. They did. Josh Jacobs has developed. You have Darren Waller. He's a very good pass receiving tight end. You have Tyrell Williams, who's a decent number 2 wide receiver. And Hunter Renfrow, he reminds me almost like of a Edelman or Welker. He just makes clutch plays. And he gets beat up and gets right back in. He's gritty. This completes their offense. I agree. And if Derek Carr can't get it done with these guys on offense, Derek Carr's gone. Ooh, the Colts. Colts were utterly shocked that Andrew Luck left the last preseason game. I understand why he left. And Jacoby Brissett. There's times in the beginning of the year he looked very, very good, and then he got hurt and just didn't look the same.
Colts love him, though.
The Colts love him. The Colts need pieces to work with. It's T.Y. Hilton. It's an aging Jack Doyle. I think Eric Ebron's a free agent. Correct me if I'm wrong. Marlon Mack, who's a good running back. I think they do re-sign Anthony Costanzo, so you have your left tackle back, so your offensive line is great again. I think this is the first shakeup in the draft. I think you need to get to the pass rusher.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's taking Jordan Love because, he has all the credentials. He could be the next Pat Mahomes. But I don't think Jacoby Brissett was the reason why they were not good last year. I think Andrew Luck leaving and having Jacoby Brissett, he wasn't the starter in preseason. He was because Andrew Luck was hurt. But going into that season, he was like, all right, I'm the backup to Andrew Luck. I'm fine with that. He wasn't mentally ready for it. He was decent. I think you can work with him. I think his potential is a solid B. You have a good running game. You have a good defense. You can win with Jacoby Brissett. So I'm taking AJ Epinesa of Iowa. Because the Colts, their defense, they're a 4-3, but they play nickel a lot. So it's some no-name linebacker, and then Darius Leonard. I mean, I think he's a beast of a linebacker. I think the Colts secondary is building up, and Epinesa can play 3-4, 4-3. He can stuff the run. He can be a good pass rusher. I think he'll be about an 11 sack guy, which is perfectly fine.
I was not expecting Epinesa.
Yeah.
But I like mix-ups, man. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it a lot. The Bucks are next. Interesting team. Jameis Winston's a question mark. There's a big need inside the D-line. I don't know if you take OT here, but you can narrow this down to 2 guys. Defensive side on the ball, you take Kinlaw. But if you're looking for somebody who can take over for Jameis and use Mike Evans and everybody else who's there, I think you go Jordan Love.
Do they re-sign Shaq Barrett?
I do think they re-signed Shaq Barrett.
Okay.
He was really, really productive. Well, this was the team that I was struggling with. It was between those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Because I love the Jordan Love hot take pick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like my last year Daniel Jones to the Giants hot take.
It was like 3 minutes before the Giants pick, and you text me, Daniel Jones to the Giants, bet money on it. I'm like, no way! Giants pick Daniel Jones. I'm like, I literally stood up and screamed, like, what? That you called that the last.
I really want to take Javon Kinlaw. Dude's got a lot of talent.
Ooh, I agree.
But I'm going to pick Jordan Love. I think the Colts are going to regret passing him up. I think the Bucks are going to swipe him. And then maybe later in the draft, Bucks try to land Rashard Lawrence at DT.
You know what? And it also puts pressure on Jameis. You know, I think they tag Jameis.
But, yeah, I think Jordan Love's a big guy. Throw the ball a mile. He's got all the intangibles. He had a little bit of a rough season this year, production-wise. But a lot of coaches like him.
Ooh, the Broncos. Garrett Bowles, the left tackle, is a bust. There is really none on the board that you want to take. Let Drew Lock grow. Jerry, Judy, the Broncos.
I'm surprised he fell this far.
Denver Broncos, you know, they do have wide receiver pieces. You know, you have Cortland Sutton, and he's your go-getter. He's your physical wide receiver. But you need a guy to run crisp routes. Judy's the guy. I think
Judy has a lot of positional variety. Dude can play outside. Dude with his route running and quick feet can play in the slot. My only concern with him is we saw many drops throughout the year. I think ball placement's going to be huge, and I think Judy's the guy who can excel in Denver.
Judy and Sutton and Noah, and then you have
Hamilton.
So I think Judy just fits very well.
All right, 16 is Atlanta.
Vic Beasley is not re-signing.
Okay, so there's a couple things I can do with Atlanta. A corner like Christian Fulton be here is intriguing. Having Kinlaw still be here is also intriguing. However, my LSU guy, Caleb Chaison's going to be the guy here. I'm drafting him. He is a pure edge rusher. Guy's fast, explodes off the line, great tackler. The only really concern is that he tore his ACL in 2018. But on the field play, his stats may not be there, but this dude's a freak.
They have Grady Jarrett, and that's it. Vic Beasley is almost like a one-hit wonder. He dropped off. Takk McKinley, number 2 pass rusher. I think you still need number 1. Is Chase on the number 1? We'll find out. Does he have the potential to be? Yes, he does. And I think you have Jarrett, Chason, and Takk McKinley. You have a young defensive line that can develop into being a very good one.
Pick 17.
It's the pick. My Dallas Cowboys. Ooh.
My pick was easy.
Dak Prescott, you're getting tagged. Amari Cooper, you're re-signed. He's not going anywhere. Ever since Dak got Amari and Amari got Dak, both their numbers have gone through the roof. They're easily a top 10 quarterback wide receiver duo. Dak has a wide receiver number 2. Cowboys need a wide receiver number 3. You know, is Randall Cobb the guy? Not sure. So you have Henry Ruggs on the board. Good linebackers that you can stop the run very well. But throughout the whole entire season, if your linebackers are making tons and tons and tons of tackles, they're getting beat up, they're getting hurt. Eventually, they will break. So you need someone to stop the run. Javon Kinlaw is a very good option, and I'm torn between him or the guy I have to pick. LSU, DBU, Grant Delpit. While there's issues of him tackling, he had an ankle injury all year. In the last few games when he was healed up, he was making tackles. I think he becomes the center fielder, and I believe his ceiling is to the Derwin James ceiling, and I think Derwin James has a higher ceiling than Jamal Adams does. I think Jamal Adams can cover very well, but I think Derwin covers better, and I think he lays the hit better. You're losing Byron Jones, I think. I think you do draft a corner later on, but Delpit is the guy to help lock down that defense. But Delpit's the guy.
You almost had me when you were baiting Kinlaw. You almost had me.
I love Kinlaw. Do not get me wrong. If Delpit is not there, you go Kinlaw. But Delpit's my guy.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. I know he's falling on some boards right now.
Yeah.
But I still think he's the number one safety. So I think if you need safety like the Cowboys do, I think you pick Delpit. 18 is the second of 3 Dolphins picks. We have yet to see I don't want to say a reach. In every draft, there's a couple unexpected picks in the first round. And the Dolphins are a team that's offensively deprived of some talent. Henry Ruggs post up kind of sticks out there. T. Higgins kind of sticks out. J.K. Dobbins. I'm picking DeAndre Swift.
I like it.
Swift at 18. Guy can do it all out of the backfield. The talent and the yards. He's a hard rusher. He's a great pass catcher. He's elusive. I like Swift here. I like the Dolphins getting 2 offensive talents and finding reasons to fill that stadium.
You have Tua and you have your Swift. Tua Swift.
The one reason I didn't go with Jonathan Taylor is the NFL is leading more towards receiving backs. And Jonathan Taylor has never had a history of being receiving backs. So when I think of receiving backs, I think of Dobbins and Swift. Swift has the edge over Dobbins.
The Raiders don't need a wide receiver now. They need pass rushers. Max Crosby is developing. You do need Javon Kinlaw. Stop the run, get to the quarterback. You have 2 good defensive tackles. You're young and you're growing.
I think Javon Kinlaw, he's been a riser and he's got talent. That dude can break through guards like nobody's business. And he is strong. The second Jaguars pick. There is one name that's glaring out to me, Henry Ruggs. Now, there is a question, is Ruggs what the Jags need? Or do they need to go with a Laviska Shenault kind of receiver? Right now, you want a guy who can change a game, a guy with potentially 4.2 speed, Henry Ruggs to the Jags.
I think he fits well. Nick Foles does have a very live arm. He can launch the deep ball pretty well. You need your speedster to stay healthy, whether he has solid hands or not. Having that guy to go over the top to take the safety off, if Henry Ruggs stays healthy, I think this is a very good pick. It also will help the running game. You have to play deep for a speedster, so you're not playing 8 men in the box now. I like the pick. Philadelphia Eagles. You want to give Carson Wentz help. Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert are good. Keep them. You can't help Carson Wentz develop if you don't get him the ball. You are playing with guys off the street at cornerback. You have to take the best player available at that position, and that is my man, Christian Fulton.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. Dude plays a lot of man. He's physical with man. He's a good size for the NFL.
Yep.
6 feet, 200 pounds.
Good speed.
Good speed. I thought about taking T. Higgins or Laviska here, but in the end, I think going corner is the correct move. The Bills. This is very interesting because this depends. Now that I'm currently residing in the Buffalo area, I've been talking to a lot of Bills fans. We re-sign Shaq Lawson. I don't think we go edge. So, you help Josh Allen. Who do the Bills have at receiver?
John Brown, speedster. Cole Beasley, slot. Tight end, Knox from Ole Miss.
Knox is good. It may scare some Bills fans, but I'm going to pick Laviska.
Love it.
A lot of his stuff that he does is similar to a younger Sammy Watkins. I think Laviska's upside is huge. I think he's got talent, and I think he'll be a good fit in Buffalo.
I've read some reports that he has Julio potential. He has the size, he has the speed, he has the hands. He just came from a bad school. You just want someone to go get the ball when it's in the air. I think that's the perfect pick. The Patriots are going to trade out of it. Their biggest needs are playmaking wide receivers and tight ends. There's not a tight end in this draft that is first round worthy. What I think they do end up taking is Neville Gallimore. Danny Shelton, not great. And the Patriots do not take exciting picks. But I think you get this. Gallimore is very good. It's not exciting.
I think it's interesting. I would have possibly gone with Gross Matos. I like Gallimore. I think he's just going to be a starter.
This is an interesting pick right here with the Saints.
Reese is going to be quarterback. But I have 3 potential avenues to go down. We're starting to get to that time of the draft where I'm thinking about linebacker. I'm thinking about the rise of Patrick Queen. I'm thinking about Kenneth Murray. They need receiver help. You cannot just have Michael Thomas be your offense. I'm leaning towards adding a receiver. I also am thinking a little bit ahead in the future, as a name that I love in this draft is Jacob Eason. So I have 3 choices here. The thing is, Drew Brees is running out of time. You can get to the playoffs running Michael Thomas, maybe drafting a receiver later in defense, does in fact win championships. I'm going to go with Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma.
I like it.
I was so tempted to pick Eason. I think you can wait.
I think that's a good pick, and I think he might fall too. Eason might fall. The teams that need quarterbacks already got them. Teams that might need quarterbacks are the Saints, Patriots, Titans, maybe Packers, but not all of them are going to take a quarterback. It's not the major need. I would have went with Patrick Queen. On to the Vikings. Looking at their roster, it's a very good roster. I don't think they're going to be able to keep Anthony Harris, the free safety. Xavier Rhodes, I think, will be on the team, but I don't think he's what he once was. He's a number 2 at best. I don't think he's regressed a lot. Trayvon Diggs. Everyone's taking him, but I'm not. I think they trust Mike Hughes to develop. Mike Zimmer likes Xavier Rhodes. So, what's next? Left tackle. You know what left tackle is? Riley Reif. I am taking Josh Jones. Gotta protect my $84 million quarterback, Kirk Cousins. And Josh Jones, 6'5", 310 pounds.
That is interesting. I think I agree. I was leaning towards Henderson. You go with where your money is. And Kirk Cousins is the money. So, I like it. I have the 3rd of 3 Dolphins picks. I drafted Tua. I drafted DeAndre Swift. I'm taking best guy available to rush the pass. And that guy is Penn State's Yetur Gross-Matos. Dude he's a cold-blooded killer. I think he could do well in the Dolphins. Really strong arms. He's so fast. He's really, really long, which is a good help for pass rushers. So
I like it 100%. 2015 draft, the Cowboys took Randy Gregory, and Randy Gregory had the tools, had the potential, couldn't stay off the Stephen A. Smith weed. But he's tall, he's lanky, fast off the ball. I really think this is a good pick. With Miami, you have pieces everywhere, and you could slowly start developing. Seahawks offense last year, pretty good. Seattle does make really weird picks, but refresh my mind with this. 2013, what was the Seahawks known for with the Legion of Boom? What were they known for?
Getting turnovers?
Getting turnovers. Looking at the board right now, who is the best, essentially, at getting turnovers? Xavier McKinney. Because right now, who are the safeties of the Seattle Seahawks? I don't know.
I don't even know.
Exactly. They had Earl Thomas and Bam Bam Chancellor, but you need the interceptions. Get the turnovers, get McKinney.
I like it. Alright. The Ravens.
Your favorite team.
I'm going to take defense.
Ooh.
And I'm going to take Patrick Queen. The Ravens need some help in the linebackers, and I think the best linebacker available is Patrick Queen.
Yep. All right, the Titans. Oh, I am very intrigued with this pick because they have a very solid defense. They get turnovers, they make tackles, they get to the quarterback, but their offense it's a question. Is Ryan Tannehill the guy? You have Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Corey Davis, who really hasn't done much.
Corey Davis is a bust.
He is. You have decent tight ends. So, T. Higgins, who is my pick. I think you have two playmakers, two guys who could run good routes, who can go get the ball, who can be deep threats. I think it works.
I like it.
A.J. Brown will really develop, and having these options at wide receiver will open holes for Derrick Henry. And you do not want Derrick Henry to see an open hole, because forget about it. No one's bringing him down then. The only way you beat Derrick Henry is playing 8-man in the box, and if you are not playing 8-man in the box, Titans' offense now becomes legit.
Yeah, I like the pick. When I was watching the Titans play, part of me so badly wanted them to pick Jacob Eason. He's so raw. He's slow on his reads, but the dude can throw the ball.
Yeah, he can.
And I think that would be so sick to have him sit behind Tannehill for a year, just come out, sling it. I think the Titans are successful now, and they need to hit with guys now. I think T. Higgins is a good pick to spread the field. Okay.
Ooh.
Green Bay. The issue with the Packers is that there are no linebackers. Cushenberry, I think, could go guard center, but I'm not going to do that because my boy Justin Jefferson's still sitting here. So I'm going to snag him up and give Rodgers another weapon besides Devontae Adams.
I like it. All right. San Francisco 49ers. Richard Sherman isn't getting any younger. He is a good cornerback right now. I think he's still a top 5 corner. I think the pick for San Fran, Henderson's still on the board. You got to pick him because while his tackling is a problem, his coverage skills is not. And the 49ers have a very underrated linebacking core. Quan Alexander, you have Fred Warner, and you have, I think his name is Dre Greenlaw. If you can get Henderson to cover very well, and eventually maybe have him be cornerback 1 and move Sherman to free safety, I think that's best long term. But Henderson is my pick.
I like it. It certainly relieves Richard Sherman of some pressure.
Yes.
You know, he's only going to regress now.
I think
Plus, he got roasted in the Super Bowl.
Last pick of our first mock.
Yeah, last pick of the first mock. The Chiefs, I believe, are going to cut Sammy Watkins. So, with that money, you can re-sign Chris Jones. Not mess with that front 7 that you have that was really successful in the last 10 games of the year. So where's the need?
Well,
my boy Damian Williams.
But isn't he a free agent though?
Yeah, might not be there.
I'm not sure if they pay him because you have Patrick Mahomeboy going to be looking for that nice check coming up soon.
Corner? Do you get secondary help? Part of me's leaning towards yes. Part of me's leaning towards no.
Safety-wise, you have the Honey Badger, who I think is a top 3 safety who no one ever gives credit to. Dude does it all. Juan Thornhill, who had a great season. So I'm not sure if you go safety.
The need in a secondary is a corner.
Yeah.
If you don't get Damian Williams back, the running back. While I do think that there's some potential to trade up or maybe try to stick A.J. Terrell from Clemson in the second round, running back is, I think, what's important here. And there are 2 running backs who, in my mind, are worthy of this first-round pick. It's Dobbins and Taylor. Now that Swift is off the board, which one of these 2 guys is going to go to the Chiefs? Taylor has, 3 years of 2,000 rushing yards?
Yeah.
Behind a Wisconsin O-line. And Dobbins can do it all. So I think in terms of scheme fit, I'm picking J.K. Dobbins.
I'm with it. I think he fits well.
I was really tempted to pick Jonathan Taylor just to give them that hard-nosed, smash-mouth football. Andy Reid's your head coach. And you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. And if you don't use that to its fullest potential, you're not doing it right. All right. Pick one pick. What's your shock pick?
This is interesting. Kenneth Murray kind of shocked me. I didn't see you going with him at all. Honestly, I think it's the number 4 pick, Jedrick Willis. I don't see, he was a great right tackle and a blind spot protector for Tua, who's a lefty. Daniel Jones is not a lefty. I think wherever he goes, he stays at right tackle. That pick just surprised me. I thought you would say Andrew Thomas at the Giants. I really did.
All right. I really was surprised by McKinney to the Seahawks. I was thinking you were going to draft T. Higgins. I was whispering to myself, yeah, he's going to draft T. Higgins. And Josh Jones to the Vikes was also another surpriser.
It for sure is going to be a crazy draft, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, and I'm also excited to do another mock. We have 2 more we have agreed on to do. Hey sports fans, and thanks for watching the Sports Guide. If you haven't already, subscribe and join the team for news, highlights, predictions, debates, and mailbag. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. All the links are down below in the description. And don't forget to hit the like button and leave us a question or two. Thanks guys, our next video is dropping soon.